beginning with Cream, Tales of Brave Ulysses. It's a good tune. It's an oldie from the 60s.
Had to turn off.
You know what?
We need to get you a microphone.
If I were younger, I might remember the 60s.
We need to get Ronnie more new headphones and you a microphone.
Today, the volume was a little low. All right, guys, what's today? Today's Monday. Welcome to Detect America. We got an awesome show tonight. I got to tell you, in the house, we got my main man, Frank Lopergola, Ronnie DeGhetto of the Gold Digger Metal Detectors, and our special guest, Robert. If I were younger, I might remember the 60s. Okay, someone's got to turn there.
We need to get Ronnie more new headphones.
I can't barely hear you.
All right, turn the speaker off. You're giving me feedback.
My speaker is off.
Okay, good. All right. So, our guest tonight is Robert and April Connect of Cannonball Treasures, out of the
Cannon Beach Treasure.
Cannon Beach Treasures. They got balls too. Cannonball.
I corrected myself 100 times before I got it right too, but it's Cannon Beach Treasure.
So, they've been on the show before, and they had a stellar appearance last time. And they're coming back on tonight, and I'll tell you what, Robert wanted to come on, and the topic is just off the hook. Robert...
Well, it's off the hook for those of us that find real, Steve. I mean, it's probably going to be boring to you because you don't find any.
You know what? I'm off the show. Goodbye. You know, and I'm going to start throwing bad words around. Know what? The guy goes on one little TV show, and now all of a sudden...
I was going to say, before we start, the burning question everyone wants to know is, did you guys realize I was on TV the other night?
Robert, April, thank you for being here. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
We're keeping busy. How about you guys?
No, I'm bored. I'm always bored. I'm bored with everything. My life is just boring.
Well, you can always come down and swab our decks then.
Listen, don't give me any ideas, because once I show up, you don't get rid of me.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
That's the problem with inviting Steve down. It's getting Steve to go home.
Yeah, it's not getting me there. It's getting rid of me that's a problem.
We'll hide the rum.
But listen, thanks again.
Your own petard.
Real quick, refresh us with your resume for those who may not have seen you last time. Give us a little bit of background of all the awesome things you do.
Well, I'll let...
Well, let's start with what we call our 22nd Nickel Tour. We're historians and treasure solvers. And so we work all day with sunken and buried treasures, about 3,000 years of history.
Okay. Won't let me get my water.
Go ahead, drink, Robert. It doesn't matter. We do it all the time. We don't have all those strictures of television on this show. We drink, we eat.
Well, I got started in the treasure business over 30 years ago, and with an expedition to the Arctic Ocean as their medic and photojournalist. Going looking for a whaling ship that sank in 1897 in the Chukchi Sea, about 250 miles inside the Arctic Circle, about 70 miles west of Barrow, Alaska. And I lived down in the Florida Keys at that time. And then I wound up getting started into the treasure business that way. When I got back down to the Keys, I wound up running into some of the local treasure salvers down there and started doing documentary work with them, and eventually just got into the treasure business, and kind of been doing it ever since then, both on land and in the water. And April and I met. She lived and worked over in Europe for many years with the Roman and medieval and Celtic antiquities. And so when we met about 14 years ago, it was kind of a match made in heaven.
Treasure heaven.
Treasure heaven.
So
then we wound up retiring from the business we were in at that time and going back into the treasure end of things full time. And we opened Cannon Beach Treasure Company in Cannon Beach, Oregon, and ran that for 7 years, and decided that we needed to get back down here to Florida. And so we moved back down here almost 3 years ago, and promptly got hit with Hurricane Michael.
That was fun.
Category 5 hurricane. We are now just finally in the last week of wrapping up repairs on our home and studio.
It's kind of ironic considering all the 1715 fleet pieces we work with. Now they've been through
2 hurricanes.
2 hurricanes.
Anything good popping up on your beaches after that hurricane?
Well, there were several old shipwrecks, old wrecks that got exposed back in the that were from the late 1800s and early 20th century. We kind of chose this area because you didn't get as much hurricane activity. We're just east of Panama City, and the last bad hurricane that came through this area and really had a heavy effect on it was over 100 years ago.
Well, it's like, 6 years ago, I chose Steve because he was a thin, good-looking man. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life is a mystery. Don't try and figure it out.
Listen, I wasn't thin.
All right. You weren't good-looking either, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, you didn't want to throw that out there, did you?
I'll tell you what, though, for guys watching, if you haven't gone to Robert and April's site, just even if you just want to look and see what they have there, the stuff that they have, and we're familiar with other treasure sites, but what they have is not you're not just going there and you're finding an Atosha coin, you're not just finding an El Cazador coin. You're finding stuff that's anywhere from those treasures to thousands of years old. The stuff that Robert sent me that we're working with the Ugly Box, to me it's amazing just to hold something that old in my hand. It's awesome. And then when we clean it up and the details there, it's just incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing what you did with it.
Well, a lot of times I can eye up certain ones that I know are going to be real receptive to the process. And the first one I grabbed literally cleaned up in like an hour, and it was amazing. But thank you so much for that, because we're actually writing a whole new protocol not just for ancients, but literally ancients of that area, because some of those were some of the toughest ones we've ever had to do.
Oh yeah, we've got some toughies.
Speaking of ancient, did I mention Ron was in the show?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We good.
I can hear good now. I don't know what happened.
You can hear well. Sometimes you just got to click out.
I got a comment. I'm seeing Canadian flag and pirate flags going by. It says, "Hi everyone, my friends Robert and April." That's either
Tom Davis.
Oh shoot! Why is my brain going?
It's either Tom Davis.
It's Tom.
It's Tom.
Tom.
It was either Tom Davis or Rob McWilliams.
Yeah, could be right.
Somebody said I'm looking like
put the Scottish flag in there though.
Someone said I'm looking like the Laguna guy with my hair. I like that. So Robert, let me ask you a question.
At the bottom of one of his pits.
I am the pits. Last time you were on this, between your last appearance and this appearance, you were sent an Ugly Box.
Yep.
And from what I understand, you haven't turned it off since.
No, I've been keeping pretty busy with it.
I kind of chained him to it. I just throw him bologna every once in a while and a glass of rum.
Very unique. Very unique. The
next person's going to come with handcuffs, April. So he won't be able to leave.
A very unique and proprietary machine, right?
Yep.
And you're having success with it.
We're having lots of great success with it.
That's so good to hear.
Setting it down.
He keeps mumbling strange words under his breath. What, zapper and...
Well...
Zapper and
it's a whole new language.
Thunder. I need thunder. I'm like, okay.
Thunder and Thrasher. Remember, like we always said, though, those clips, they're not for body parts, okay? They're for coins.
Oh, now we wandered.
And metal things like the sword. So I don't know what other people do with those machines, especially Tom Davis. Tom Davis, I think, has like 4 of them. So I don't even want to know what he does with that thing.
I got to say, I think it's awesome what he did. He got a bunch of those Jerusalem Horde pieces. And I think it's awesome if more parents did with their children what Tom Davis is doing with his kids. we would have a lot less problems in the world.
I gotta tell you, Robert. So my granddaughter has almost no interest in metal detecting, almost no interest in coins. But when I pull out a few of those coins and I start to talk to her about them, and I show her, she's fascinated by them.
Yeah.
Is completely enthralled by it.
Yep.
The older ones, yeah.
That's why we love sharing the history in the schools and such, and showing these kids artifacts.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
So one of the biggest problems we have in the world, and especially in this country, is people aren't getting taught the proper history these days.
That's for sure.
It's almost becoming a lost art. I mean, history is supposed to be about the old stuff. I mean, it's supposed to be about where we came from and what we did then, and unfortunately, a lot of that's getting lost.
Yep.
I love I just love old coins. I mean, just looking at them.
Holy cow! Am I seeing Good Morning from Somerset, UK?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Somerset,
They
UK.
have really
Yeah.
lovely old coins there.
Yeah, I worked with Arthur C. Clarke for a number of years on the Taj Mahal sunken treasure, and
Awesome.
You're scaring me, Steve. And
I had to do that. It's itching.
but back to Somerset. We Arthur's from Taunton, and we used to go to Minehead and have some of the best fish and chips there.
Of course, they
Did-
look at 300-year-old coins and go,
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, I know. My God.
Yeah. Like I said, it's cool when we find history here, and our history here is like, zinc and pennies that are dropped.
rope it off. Yeah.
I was having a conversation with an archaeologist one time who we were discussing the merits of we're not allowed to touch anything on public land that's over 50 years old. So I used to in the store tell people that when they would ask me about treasure hunting laws and stuff, and I would say, that means that I'm a historic artifact. And, you want to touch me? I'll let you touch me. So.
Nice.
So, Robert's going to talk to us about IDing our golden, the thing that we all hunt for, the thing everybody can't wait to find, reals. And Robert knows about everything there is to know about it because Robert's seen about 5 gazillion of them.
I want to jump out and grab mine. I forgot to get them out before the show, but I want to have them with me when.
Oh, did UPS deliver you one? Awesome.
Shut up, Smart.
Is that tonight's giveaway, Steve?
He's gone. We can give away his Atocha coin.
There you go.
Steve's got a plastic one. He shows everybody. He tells everybody he found.
Oh no! Let me tell you what really happens. We have people all the time who send us in pictures of the treasure they found, the golden treasure that is. They're now no longer going to have to work, and they're going to retire on this treasure. And what it is they have found those pewter knockoffs that they make for the tourists, and then throw them out in the sand and let them metal. Yeah, and
some lovely person over the past 2 years has been doing that up and down the Jersey coast.
Yeah.
We just love them. He's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's always our fault. It's our fault when we tell them that they better go crawling back to their boss and ask for their job back.
Set your alarm, get up, go back to work tomorrow.
They get mad at me when I tell them, "Hey, this is a really cool treasure, but it's a toy," and then they get upset with me.
Yeah.
So it's now wait a second.
Don't tell Steve because he still thinks he's got a real one.
You guys are real funny.
Go ahead, Steve. Show us your reaction.
Oh, you mean okay? Well, no, you're really the one that my prize that everyone.
Oh, you're Atocha. Okay.
Knows about is the Atocha real. This was.
Oh, that's pretty.
I think it's a grade 3 maybe or a grade 2. I don't remember. I'm trying to turn the light off.
Hard to.
So yeah, it's got some pretty good.
And now let me see the other side.
Flip it around.
Flip it around to the cross
Oh,
side.
it looks more like a 2.
Looks like it's a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Either that or a real
high 3.
yeah.
Well, you've got visible shield and a cross on it, but it's not super sharp. But it looks like it's probably a high grade 2 or a low grade 1. The guys that I worked with that were a part of the Golden Crew, we always had this joke down there. We always had this joke that it all depended on how much rum was being consumed or something else smoked at the time by the graders when they were grading them. You could always see the variation in it.
Yeah.
The benefit of like I bought this from the Fisher Museum in Sebastian, Florida, and I felt that to me,
that's cool.
Yeah, to me it was. I knew my money was going into the Fisher Museum. The authenticity, it comes with a sheet, pictures, and everything else. And I do remember it comes from the Potosi Mint. So I don't know if you're going to explain how that's known.
We're gonna
a lot about that.
Yeah,
you'll see the video that
right.
Frank's going to run there. Talks about the history of the Potosi Mint, and the coin that I'm actually using there initially is an Atocha piece. I forgot to mention that in the video. But
yeah, so the story is I walked in the museum with my wife, and we met Mel's granddaughter, who is the curator of that museum. Real nice young lady, and we had Kim Fisher on the show, and he was great on our show.
Oh yeah.
And of course, for some reason, I don't know why they do this, but when you walk out, you're in their gift shop. It's amazing how you go all the way through, and you wind up in this gift shop, and I'm looking at I know, and my eyes were like this, right? And of course, my wife is like, "Do whatever you want," and I'm like, I was like, yeah, I like that one, and here, take my credit card, quick! Don't give it back! But I'm glad I made the purchase to be able to give to that foundation, number one, and come out with a coin like that is just, something you're only going to do once,
That's really cool, because we would have people ask about when they had gotten something in Key West and such, and sometimes the prices are a little different with our business than they are in the West. But it's the experience there. You're supporting that organization that is still going out there against all odds, really, considering how evil the government is these days, and not allowing private salvage to exist. That has done. I mean, it's private salvage that has made all of this available to the public.
I forgot to get my El Cazador reals. Oh, geez. So. Well, I just want to look at them when he does this. That's right. Someone just mentioned it.
I was going to bring mine off the wall, but Steve, there's so darn many of them to count. I don't want to.
And Frank, and listen, Robert, Frank is the king. He finds reals everywhere we go. I've only ever found one, and I don't. It's to me. I'll find another. It's just metal detecting. It is what it is.
To be fair, Steve did find a real on the site that I found. 35 reals, but he did find one there.
This guy's head is just
Did you drop it, Frank? Did you drop it?
Bigger and bigger every day. No,
I'm sure Robert may have a few more than I have.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, I guess, what I was wearing. This is one of the first coins that I recovered. It's off the 1715 fleet.
Oh, that's awesome.
And for our first anniversary, April, got this Colombian emerald mounted on there for me.
And show them this one, because this was your first coin ever.
And
first real.
This was my first real. I used to collect coins as a kid, and I traveled all over the country. And I actually bought this in Mobile, Alabama at a 5 and dime for $6.37.
Wow.
They had found it on the beach there.
You can see the date.
Dated 1999, and I had Duke Long, one of the old-time treasure hunters, put on the pirate's toothpick.
And how many times have you worn it since we started dating?
Not a single time.
Not a single time.
What was it? What was the date on that, Robert? I couldn't hear you. I cut out.
1699.
Awesome.
Now,
That's awesome.
yeah, we're gonna get into some things tonight, and the one picture you showed, I don't know, it's just some of these coins are just amazing, and to me, Frank and I were talking. I picture a coin as being round, but they're not all round that I'm discovering, and that's intriguing.
Yep. Now, one
great.
thing that we wanted to mention and offer exclusively to you guys, we're going to be at the end of the show here, or towards the end of the show, we want to give everybody a special code that they can use on our website just for the holiday season, where we will include, if they put it in and make a purchase, we will include a special historic gift for them. And
by way of a stocking stuffer.
A stocking stuffer.
I'm just finding a pen and a piece of paper because I'm going to be writing that down.
Yeah. And
I've already made a decision on something that I want. So.
but also, I think you're going to be doing a drawing because you have the picture I sent to you
Yes.
of the piece that you're going to be drawing off at the end of the show.
The ugly box conserved piece.
Ugly box conserved piece. So
let's see what we got there.
You want me to show it?
We've had close to 300 entries. Everyone's name is written on a ticket.
Who got that job?
I did. So, and we will be somehow drawing a winner at the end. And let me tell you something. Everyone's interested in this drawing. And you got the picture, Frank? At some point we might see it this year?
Yeah, no. Some of the pictures loaded up fine, and then for some reason that didn't. So you keep talking. I'm going to go try and find it.
All right.
Okay, you try and find it. I'm going to keep talking. And in 1 minute, we're going to let Robert take the stage, I guess, and get into his.
Well, Frank has to get those videos planned because
the videos are good. I'm good with the videos.
Yeah, as you can see, like he is with the pictures, he's good with the videos. Yeah, he's awesome with the videos.
All right, just stop. I just wanted to kind of see this one.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, how about we play the videos and I'll look for it.
Yeah, let's get started on the presentation because we're going to let that go. We know we might go past 9 o'clock. No one cares. Take your time. I'm going to jump out real quick and get my other coin. So go ahead, get started.
Now, Robert, one question before I start, just so I got them lined up. The first one is the Real with the drawing of the bar around it.
No, the first one. Well, if you want to do that, I was thinking, I guess you could just start with that one. Okay. That way, at least everybody can. I love the hat, man.
I thought this would be appropriate, so I'll put it on for now. It's a little hard to hear with the speakers.
Better than the Pharaoh hat you usually wear.
Yeah, you could start with that one because that does that. We have a bag of coins that are particularly awesome, where you can really see that this whole Cabo de Barro cut from the bar.
Right.
I've had more time with this hat.
That's video. But what we can do for everybody, these Cobb coins, the reason why they're unusually shaped is that the king didn't care about the shape. All he cared about was the weight and the purity of the coin. So that's why they're very crudely shaped. And here's something in the background.
Who's yelling?
That's my wife upstairs. She's yelling from upstairs.
All right, then I'm going to start. I'm going to play that one. I'm going to drop that to give the video a screen. And then, see, nothing moves fast. It just moves here.
The guy thinks he's a big TV star. I can only teach him so much. I mean, realize I'm not in control of any of this. Okay. There we go.
Okay. Here is a Mexico City, piece of eight, circa 1715 time frame here. And this is what the bar would have looked like, the strap or the bar of silver that was poured out. And when you look at this piece, there's a number of very fascinating things going on with this. As you can see how soft the edge is here.
There you go.
Okay. And kind of looks like the edge that you might have on the edge of pancake batter when you pour it into the pan. And then on these edges here, you can see the cut marks on it, where they actually used
Did we lose it?
Usually a big pair of shears to cut this. Sort of like your school shears to cut paper, just very large versions of it. So this here is the flowing section of the metal on both sides as it was poured out. And then this is where they cut it down to the proper weight. And this particular one is right about 27 grams. Now there's a couple of other very fascinating features about this. First of all, these were sharp edges. Each one of these pieces, because they were being cut by metal, and shears, they created sharp edges on it.
Steve, can you hear me?
These were transported in canvas bags from Mexico City all the way down to Veracruz, which is about a 2-week trip on muleback. And so they didn't want these things to punch through the bags. So if you'll note right here, see how flat this is? On exactly the opposite side of the coin, it's flat right there too, which is an example of how they would have used a hammer, a large hammer, and just to whack it right here, and it flattened it on the bottom and the top, as it were, the sides. Another fascinating thing is that there's this interesting little divot here. That is a little soft in some places and a little harder in others, and we think that may have been caused by a piece of debris. Remember, these were furnaces, very, very hot furnaces that were keeping this metal molten, and a little piece of debris like charcoal or something like that could have fallen onto the piece of metal and then just burned off, because the metal, of course, is molten. And this would have just burned off, but as it was cooling, it left this little indentation on it. But it's a beautiful cross on this piece here. You can see partially OM Mexico mint mark, J assayer, and then the 8 denomination. And of course, it's Philip V's shield with the 3 fleur-de-lis in the center. And this is the later shield, also, by the way, that started in 1713.
That's awesome. Now, Robert, can I ask you a couple questions? How about now? Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. I lost your volume. So, take me back to the days of the mines, the furnaces, the mints where they do this. The workers, let's say the people that make these coins, I don't know what they're actually called. What type of, where were they in the level of society? Were they like we would call like a migrant worker, or were they like respected people in society?
Well, that's about one of the most awesome questions that you can ask, but it's also not a simple question, especially in these politically correct times. Way back when the Spanish colonized or came over and started exploring and found this mineral wealth that was in the New World, they started mining it. There was a system that was set up fairly soon where they didn't want to. Some of the officials didn't want to harm the indigenous people. Now that was ignored a lot of the times, But one of the few things that's really not taught much these days is that as much, depending on what mint you were in and what time period, as many as 70% of the mint workers actually were paid to work in the mines.
So the
You also,
miners, the miners themselves, were they slaves? Did they use slave labor?
some of it was slave labor.
Okay.
And but they were also, like I said, as many as 70% of the people, depending on what time period and what mine you were working at, whether it was Potosi or Lima or up in Mexico City. There were multiple mines all over the place. They were compensated, not very much. And some of them they had, I can't remember, it's been a while since I've talked about this, so I don't remember the exact terminology of it. But what they did, they went to work for 6 months. They brought them in from all these different areas that were far away from where the mines were. And then they lived there in a communal setting and worked in the mines for 6 months, and that was their service. Now, sometimes that existed longer, but this is not, the mines weren't safe.
Right, I was going to ask, how deep were they? I mean, I can't imagine how safe a mine in the 1600s was, and how far down did they go?
These were all rope ladders. They went hundreds and hundreds of feet down, and
really,
you went into the mountains. You had shafts and you had drifts and such.
Wow.
And the way typically it worked is that you had one person that held a candle when they were taking this ore out of the mine. They were climbing up these very rickety wooden and woven like hemp and such,
right,
ladders. And you had one person that climbed up ahead, and they carried a candle. Then you had the person who had a basket who carried about 50 pounds of the ore, and then you had somebody below him that was helping him go up.
Right.
And
dangerous. Dangerous.
Yeah.
Did a lot of them?
I mean, it was very, very, very similar to what you see in Poldark. If you've ever watched Poldark or read the books,
Right.
Mining in Cornwall, it was very much the same thing. It was dangerous, heavy work.
And
was there a lot of death?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was. You had. It's again, like I said, it's kind of hard to talk about this because of some people being so particularly sensitive over things. But this is history.
It is. It's history, and it took place hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago.
This kind of mining now still takes place in certain areas, in certain countries around the world.
We can say it's wrong how they did it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it was done.
Did it happen? Correct.
That's how it was happened.
So
it's not wrong for the time period, though.
Right. Exactly.
This is, and there's unfortunately, it's the situation when you try to have a conversation here is that intellectual honesty is lacking.
Right. Sure.
And you just can't say, hey, this is what happened then. We don't do it now. But there's places around the world that still have deplorable, massively deplorable mining conditions and living conditions.
Sure.
And
now,
it's not here in the United States. That's for sure.
Okay, so the people that dug the ore were your basic blue-collar workers. They worked hard, probably got paid less.
Now, what's interesting, let me interrupt you here, though. What's really fascinating is that when you weren't, this was in particular with Potosi, I haven't seen anything yet. And we're working on several books about treasure coins that are going to answer all these different questions, very similar to yours that we used to get at the store, that no book that I have seen yet answers in one concise, I'm going from probably 20 separate sources.
Sure.
Between academic papers and other books and so on, and combining all of this information into one. What's really interesting is that miners there in Peru, in Potosi, Peru, which was upper viceroyalty of Peru, they were actually allowed to go out and mine themselves and sell the silver to the king. and
Wow.
or to the the king was the owner, so to speak, of the land, and then he leased the rights to individuals to mine this for a 20%, or the
They
king's fifth.
Subcontractors.
Yeah,
So,
basically.
okay, so I want to move on from the mine worker. Then let's take it a step higher to the next position, probably I don't know if it's the word smelter, but now we're talking about someone who has to have a craft, a talent to melt the ore, to get the ore to the stage where they're going to create the coins. Where did they fall in society as a level? Were they well paid for what they did?
Well, again, what you have the laborers that brought the silver out of the mine.
Right.
Then you actually had smelting that went around. For instance, you had the mint in Potosi, Peru, but you go all the way over to La Paz along this mountain range that runs along at about 10,000 feet throughout the mountains that goes over to Peru. Remember, your two different regions, what is now Bolivia, which was Upper Peru back then, and then you have what is still Peru to today. But what they would do, they would mine it there and they would smelt it there. And then somebody else actually brought it in these massive bars that you have seen. We've all seen these big 60, 70, 80, 90-pound bars.
Right.
Bring that to the mint, and then that would be melted down and turned into coinage. And so as you went up in your ability, you got paid, and compensated more and more.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
To make a single coin in Potosi, Peru, took between 10 and 12 men to do that worked on that process. But at the height of the minting process in the 1600s, they could produce, they worked 10 to 12 crews for 10 hours a day, and each one of those could strike up to 3,000 coins in one day. That's how fast they were working.
Who decided? Now I know each design tells a story, as you're probably going to explain to us, but who made the decision of what design went where? The king?
Say that what now? Ask that again.
Who designed? Who created the design? Like we have who would be their coin engraver?
Okay.
Like it would be an engraver now.
Engraver, yeah. Who decided what was actually on the coin and what meant what?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Do you want to answer that, or you want me?
Well, the video goes into that.
Why don't you guys fight about it? All right, we want to go in another video.
Well, the video doesn't go into that part about.
All right. Well, if you want to show another video now, you can think about that answer.
I got to answer that question.
We have a cat removal.
All right. Get that cat out of here, will you?
Kitty.
All right, good. There you go.
We like cats. We're cat lovers.
No, I hate cats.
I'm a cat lover.
So what this is, you have the king, and you have an organization over in Sevilla that was in charge. And again, I'm for some reason it's been a really crazy long week here. I'm losing my.
It's okay. Your train of thought. You just listen.
Talk about the structure. So you had the king.
You had the king, and then you had an organization. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That was in charge of managing all of this, what was going on in the New World, basically. Right. It was a commission. And what they would do, there were certain things that had to be on the coins. And then they usually just left it up to in fact, one of the coins that you're going to be seeing in the Potosi video, it was actually the assayer who designed
the assayer
on it, the pillars.
Talk about that.
And so at the top of the list in the mines is the assayer, or the mint master. He is the person who is in charge of the mint. And he was responsible for the purity and the weight of each one of the coins, and then everybody else was below him, worked under.
I'm sure the assayers probably got paid well. They were the
Well,
they were probably important.
that's a whole nother. Yeah,
That's a whole nother thing. That's again kind of complex.
That gets kind of fun.
But those
I'm just saying is they were probably important people because their job had to be accurate. It wasn't just something you decided to do today. It was something that they probably learned and had to be a craft at. No,
yeah, not really.
Not really.
No? All right.
These were just like the captains. You know, one of the reasons why you have so many ships sinking back then is because these were royal appointments, and these guys, pardon me, they didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Yeah,
Kind of like me with the metal
We're
detecting
talking
and
about
stuff.
the Spanish now. This isn't true of every.
Were the assayers of the time like Gold Rush?
well, the
49ers assayers who pocketed a lot of the shavings and fragments and
that's
talk
it.
about that.
See, in the these were purchased, auctioned off positions.
Mm-hmm.
So the king was bleeding money most of the time, and fighting wars or being very extravagant and such, and so
bribing people.
You had the assayers, for instance, would bid on the opportunity to be able to run one of these mints because there was all sorts of ways for him to make money. And so you'll see in the video coming up about the Potosi Mint, and we'll talk about it a little after that, about the Potosi Mint scandal, which is
all right, Frank, you wanna roll that video there, Mr. Director?
now, am I rolling the Potosi Mint one?
well, you can do, I guess, if you wanted to do the Potosi Mint one, but it starts out with the Mexico Mint because they were the first ones to start striking coins.
The only reason I'm asking is because when they upload these files, they don't give me the names.
Oh, they
So,
don't. Okay.
I'm guessing by the thumbnails.
Yeah.
So I had two that look similar.
So
I have
Frank,
one where you're holding a yellow pencil or yellow pointer.
Mexico City Mint.
I don't know.
I think it's this one here. All right, so
Frank?
let me hide myself. Yeah, let's see.
Hey, Frank, you were getting an echo before. I don't know if you knew that or not because the echo started and then it went away. So
It was because and I sent Robert and April a message. I have to mute you during the video because it's feeding back through your system.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead then. Get it done. Let's go. Tell him what to do finally. About time I told him what to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, hit play, Frank. There we go.
Okay, so here we are. Another edition of Treasure Talk, and today we're going to go through the different styles of coins that were minted at the Mexico City Mint. First, we start out with when Mexico City first started striking coin was 1536, and this is called the Carlos and Joanna series, largely due to the fact that you can see Carlos and Joanna around the edge here. So Charles I of Spain co-ruled with his mother. She was known as La Loca. She had mental issues. So
she was loco.
Insane. Anyway, these were struck up until mid 1556 or so. Then they went to this style. This style of the coin right here, where they started adding the cross to it. This particular one is a beautiful 2 real.
Oh my God!
And as you can see, it is you can see Philippus, and it's Philip II, and so that style, a little bit more of a flat coin, and this one goes on up into this style goes into the very early 1600s. Then when you come into the once you start going up to about 1620, 1618 or so, this is a Mexico City 8 real. And notice how you're all of a sudden starting to get a cup shape to it. And you can see the O and the M for the Mexico City. This is the denomination 8 right here. And that continues on to a more bar-like, but again, more cup-shaped. Again, you can see that sort of cup shape, and this one has a beautiful date on it, 1652, and the 2 looks sort of like a Z, but that's why you didn't see much. Dates on these things, because they would fall off the edge of the planchet. Now, it's interesting is the the awesome 1715 fleet pieces. Now you notice they pretty much look the same as these, except they're more bar-like and they're flat. So, and you have the 3 fleur-de-lis on the shield, which is Philip V. And so then in 1732, the king sent over the first screw presses, and they started doing the pillar dollar. And it's beautiful. These are one of the most beautiful coins that was ever struck, I think, in the world here. This particular one comes off of a Dutch East Indiaman called Hollandia. And these lasted up until 1772, where they went over to the portrait dollar. And this particular one's dated 1797, and you can see the OM Mexico City mint mark on there. And the purity of silver changed as you went through. These were basically 9.3 fine and a few ticks. Then the purity changed to 917 fine for the pillar dollars, and then it eventually settled at basically 9.0 fine for these silver dollars, and that's what our U.S. currency was based on. And that's it for this.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. We'll get your voice back real quick, and then I got some questions here. We got your voice back?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Now.
Steve, before you go, I just saw a question here where they're saying, very, very jealous here in the Midwest where we never find this kind of stuff. Actually, you do find it up there. Spanish colonial coins are found throughout, just about everywhere throughout this country.
We had a good friend who was a surveyor in the Midwest for 40 years, and he would find reals buried in canning jars where property lines met. Apparently, that was a tradition at one point.
Okay, just a couple quick questions.
Steve, I want to tell you real quick. Those round things with the pillars, they were pillar dollars. Just in case you haven't seen one, because I know.
They're shiny.
You're gonna get it at the show. Now, okay, I saw where you have the OM for Mexico mint. I see that the 8R is for 8 real, right?
Correct.
I'm looking on the back of the coin. What does FF stand for?
That is the assayer's initials.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
This Spanish minting system was based really on the Roman system. The king wanted to know who made that coin, so in case there was hinkiness involved, he knew who to, So like they would put the moneyer's name on Roman coins, assayer's initials on Spanish coins.
Yeah, because some of them are different. I see. Okay. I just want to know what some of these things on the coin mean, and it's only the ones I'm holding. So if I don't know. Either way, what does Hispan ETIND Rex mean?
Right. What that means is King of Spain and the Indies.
Okay.
So Hispan et King of Spain and the Indies, which this is the West Indies over here. They thought that when Columbus had made his way over here, he thought he had reached the Indian continent, and that's how the native peoples here, the indigenous peoples, became known as Indians.
Okay,
and they figured out pretty quickly though that it wasn't. It just sort of stuck,
Okay, and DEI Gracia.
Yep. De Gracia, that means by the grace of God.
Okay, and then the other one they have Carol.
And the king's name will be right there.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's his ugly face that we got on here, Carolus.
Yep, Charles.
He has a nice smile.
Nah, he ugly, man. Come on.
Looks like you got it.
He's got a big nose, that's all.
Well, he had, and those coins were generous as far as making his nose not quite as large. Remember, these people were all marrying relatives.
Inbred, yeah.
Yeah, they were inbred.
They were all married.
I'm going to show real quick again, because I'm going to show the coin. the bezeled real that they are giving away on tonight's show. At the end of tonight's show, and guys have been asking to see it, so I'm going to hide me.
So,
There it is.
That is
I'm the winner.
1715 fleet 2 real
Shipwreck.
shipwreck,
Nice.
and I
I'm the winner.
set that in non-tarnishing sterling silver. It's
Nobody's winning that.
we sell a piece like that for about $330. So
Wow.
And we thank you. Listen, I can't thank you from the
That's
bottom of my heart.
very generous.
that
Very
you do that
generous.
for our viewers. Let me just add, okay, on the back of this,
so sweet.
at the top we have a crown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on each side there's a horn. And inside the shield I see
Color.
What are the horns?
Listen, just let them go with it.
Why don't you call it candlesticks like the Chinese did? They called it 2 candle coins.
2 candle coins. That's what they call them.
all right, they're candlesticks. I'm trying to describe this from what I see.
They were supposed to be what, the gates of Gibraltar, the pillars at the gates of Gibraltar.
The Pillars of Hercules, correct,
Oh.
and that's why you see the ribbon on it that says Plus Ultra on it.
Listen, you get what you pay for, Robert. You want Josh Gates? Okay, you got me. That's all I can say.
Dude, wait, is he available?
Yeah, exactly. You want Josh Gates? You want intellect? Go with Josh Gates. You want Detect America? You got me. Now, so inside the shield, though, I just want to ask you what some of these things are. I see a castle. So there's castles on each corner, right? And
Yeah, you got the lions and castles.
and lions and castles.
Yep. That's
What is in the?
Leon
What
and
do they stand for? Was there a particular what the lion and castle? What would they
Yep.
what did they mean?
So it is just like our state quarter program that now, well, even on all of our U.S. currency, each one of the different elements on there means something. So in this particular case, the lions and castles stand for Leon and Castile. See, back in the
They were a rock group back then.
yeah,
Exactly.
back in the early 1300s, the Moors had come across in 711 AD. The Moors had come all the way through Africa and attacked Spain and come in and taken over Spain. And they were Muslim, and they pushed all the way up. By about 1754, they made it almost all the way to Paris, France. And they were so powerful that even Charlemagne couldn't defeat them. And so these were individuals that were pushing into a Christian territory at the tip of their swords. And so in the 1300s, you had Castile and Leon. You still had some of the Christian areas on the Iberian Peninsula, and they started what is called the Reconquista of Spain. And so they started pushing the Moors back out of back into North Africa again. And it was the combining of these two houses, basically Leon and Castile, that gave them the power. This is an example of that. You see it all throughout history and all throughout cultures. That we see it right here in our own country right now.
Symbols, yeah.
So much infighting going on when you should be focused elsewhere,
Right.
you know, with your attention, and you're busy fighting among yourself. So when two houses, so to speak, get together and say, "Hey, we need to combine our powers against a common enemy," then that's what happened, and they were able to. Push them back, and they also expelled the Jews and such. These are very rough times in history. History isn't politically correct.
This is during the time of the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh,
I've got a question for you, Robert.
Spanish Inquisition.
About a copper cob. So back in 1989, I was part of a group, University of Pennsylvania group, that were down on a pork plantation in Louisiana.
Mhm.
We came across a cache of 306 copper cobs.
Yeah, the Meravine.
And because this particular dig wasn't really part of the college dig because it was the neighboring property said, yeah, come over and try my property. So basically on lunch, we went next door and found 306 copper cobs. So we each got to keep a percentage of them.
Wow.
On a couple of the copper cobs that I had, one I cleaned with the electrolysis on the show. And it was we could see part of the date. It was 16 something or other. When it was cleaned, the original date was on there. It was like 1540 something.
Yeah.
And it was counter stamped 16 like 69 or something. Why would an assayed and accounted for coin be counter stamped?
That is a great question.
That's a good question. Do you want to answer that?
So these were low value common folk coins. You were talking about the different, the blue, these were more the blue collar worker coins, right? So this is not what you're going to do large value transactions.
Well, just to answer this real quick, the piece of 8, the silver 8 real that all of us were talking about right now, this particular piece here, this was a high value trade currency. And so, excuse me, the common worker back then, depending again on where and when, made the equivalent of 1 to 2 of these a month. So they were paid, like for instance, your Maravedis, for instance, that you're talking about.
Yep.
If it was an 8 Maravedi, it would take 34 of those 8 Maravedis to equal 1 of these silver pieces of 8. And then you had 4 Maravedis and 2 Maravedis. And so now you can explain the counter stamping.
So minting coins was hot, heavy work. We established that. And so these coins were out in circulation, but there again, just like in ancient times, Roman times, you see the value of coins and the percentage of precious metals to base metals vary. But they would round all these coins up, reassess their weight, and restamp them. But depending on what was going on in the economy, they would actually change the denomination of a fairly full weight coin.
That's the other thing, because on some of these coins, there's like a Roman numeral 4 or 4I, and that looked like it was also not part of the original stamping.
We have a lot of Maravedi, and we have some that are 6. Well, there were no original 6 Maravedis ever made. They were 8 sports. Anyway, but when they reassessed the value at that time, they determined them to be 6. And you'll often on those counter stamps see the crown, signifying that this was an official government reassessment. Dates. We have the Maravedi that has 6 dates.
Wow, no kidding.
It's not uncommon to see 3 partial dates on.
That coin sat in my box for about 20 years, 25 years, until I cleaned it on the show at the Ugly Box, and it turned out to be like the oldest coin that I've ever dug with a metal detector.
Yeah. And most of those coins have a lion on one side and a castle on the other.
Yeah, most of those were lion and castles.
Right. They're beautiful coins, but you don't find very many of them that aren't counter stamped. Now the counter stamps are awesome.
Right.
So, and they would even, much like chalk coins, these pieces of 8, when they got over to the Orient, they would be tested, and they would probably should have brought some, but they would put marks into them, banker's marks, commerce marks into them. Sometimes they just strike them with something sharp to see if it cracked, if it was pot metal.
Exactly. And that later on became a real good way of them to fake them, because now people come over here, see the chop marks, and think, oh, that must be real.
Chop marks.
Then you find 1,000 with the exact same chop marks in them.
But there are some coins that we have, both silver and copper, that have been counterstruck so many times that they've actually broken apart, or they're split open, and they're heart shaped because they went through this process so many times.
So, about how much theft and counterfeit went on? I mean, it's just like incredible. I mean, more than you can imagine.
Well, that's a really good question, and it is a multi-pronged question. Yeah. As you saw in the Mexico City video on there, one of the main reasons why they went to the screw press was to keep the coins from being able to be cut down
Yeah.
and
Reeded
chiseled, and they had a reeded edge on them. Now, it took a while because that technology was first began to be developed during Queen Elizabeth's time, right about 1561, and but it was too expensive and too time consuming to mint a coin at that time to put what's called a milled edge on it. Ironically, the guy who actually developed
French.
that was a French guy, and he went on to be arrested about 8 years later and executed for counterfeiting. And
Really?
but it took about 150 years in order to get that process down so that it ran much more smoothly. And so you'll see in some of the Spanish coins that they were starting to produce milled edge coins in the later 1600s. But this problem goes all throughout history. Ever
Of
since
course.
somebody has created something of value, somebody else was sitting there going, hey,
Yeah.
I can fake that,
Absolutely.
sell it for the same amount or just a little bit under and really make a killing. You know?
I can carve the Gucci logo onto my club.
Right.
You know? I mean,
And I'm sure-
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
sure back in the day, anybody
it's called
caught
human nature. You know,
anybody caught skimming from the king was kind of probably beheaded.
Well, we have a fun bedtime story for folks all about that, don't we?
Good. Real quick, I just want to ask you, how do I look now? Do I look better here?
Much better.
Yeah. Does that make me look smarter?
I read, yeah.
I want to hear the bedtime story.
Well, there's a couple of fun ones. The first one is Henry II. After he got back of England, after he got back from one of the Crusades around, was it 1250 AD, something like that, if I remember correctly. Either way, he got back and he found that people that he had left in charge of some of the mints had been cheating him. So
We don't like that.
No,
they
that makes sense.
so he called these particular mint workers into and moneyers into the tower.
The office.
The-
exactly.
Yeah, the
yeah.
office.
You got called into the principal, and he took their either right or left hand, and if I remember correctly, he also castrated them.
Ah,
And
Nice.
and which was actually much better than what wound up happening later. I was doing research on coin clipping.
oh yeah,
And,
they were clipping.
Yeah.
A lot of people remember. How many people know Sir Isaac? How do you guys know Sir Isaac Newton?
The apple.
All gravity.
Apple.
Yeah.
The apple, you know?
Gravity.
Gravity,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Well, he was actually the mint master of the London Mint from 1697 to 1727.
And he was castrated.
And no,
No. No, but
no, but what he
Woo-hoo!
do, he used to go into these places of ill repute,
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
and he would suss out and actually find and get convictions. I think he got 27
Mhm.
convictions of money clippers.
he'd wear disguises.
And he'd wear
hang
disguises
out.
and everything else. And what they did back then, there was a Mr. and Mrs. Owens that you can go and find in the Old
Records of
Bailey,
the
and the records in the Old Bailey, the London court system, where they were brought up on charges of harboring highwaymen, is the way they put it in there. And they found money clipping tools and stuff in their residence. And they were and remember, this is where you had to defend yourself. And so
Well,
This was not
you-
innocent.
you didn't
This
have
was-
didn't have an attorney who defended you these days, and the laws were a lot less liberal, and hence less crime. And so anyway,
Yeah, well, some of those punishments, I think I'd be pretty straight arrow myself.
Exactly. Pretty straight
Yeah.
arrow.
but Anyway, what they wound up doing with this particular couple was they were convicted of clipping the coins, and the guy was drawn and quartered and then hanged, and his wife was hanged and then drawn and
Yeah, I was
quartered.
gonna say that'd be like four ropes.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
That's gotta ruin your day.
I added that fire department clip for you.
That's gotta ruin your day being drawn and quartered, I guess.
Yes, it does. And they burned the wife at the stake. And
because it's not modest.
That was considered more modest. So that's the way they handled that. And that actually that was considered treason, and that was only changed in the 1800s, that law.
So what everyone needs to understand is when I go into these houses of ill repute, I'm looking for coin clippers. Okay, bottom line, I'm doing research.
In fact, if you've ever heard of the window tax in England, and if you've ever visited there and you've seen all of these beautiful facades with painted windows because they actually filled in all the windows, the king instituted the window tax because so many people were clipping the precious metals from the coins, and then they'd have to remint them and add more precious metals, that he just got fed up and he started taxing.
He started taxing people for
windows.
For windows, because he figured the more windows you had, the more money you had. Kind of like what's happening with taxes now for the next.
Oh yeah, God forbid! And don't get me started. So let's move on. Do we have another video we want to show next?
We do.
Yes.
We have two.
Okay.
We got the Potosi.
Yes.
Oh, give me some Potosi.
At first, I have to mute.
There we are. We're
Robert and April.
Here we go.
And I got to go back and find the video.
Here we go. And I'm paying you good money to do this.
Oh, wait. Then I got to hide me.
All right. Let's go back to the houses of ill repute again. All right.
Started, I think, 1554. That's actually, I think, when they discovered silver there. So they started first doing silver bars, and then they switched over to silver coins. One of the fascinating things about the Potosi Mint is that it quickly, because of the amount of silver that they were finding, way up at 10 and 12,000 feet there in the mountains of what was then called Upper Peru, it quickly became the largest and most populated Spanish-speaking city in the world, even though it was a 2.5-week trip up from the ocean up to 10 and 12,000 feet of water. So here is your early Potosi Mint style coin. As you can see, we call this the cross and shield style here, where you have your lions and your castles and such. And it's quite circular. And you have the shield of the king, and the name of the king around the edges here, and the assayer Q, and there would be a P right up here, a P right up here. This is Q, assayer, and he struck coins, I think, from about 1613 to 1616, and up there at the Potosi Mint. And this style of coin was struck up until about 1650, when the king finally acknowledged that there was a lot of hanky-panky and hinkiness going on at the Potosi Mint, and the mint officials and local government officials were stealing from him. So a fellow came over and checked everybody out after about 2 years, and sent about 84 of them, convicted about 84 of them, over 30 of which were executed in one nasty form or another. But what's interesting is it resulted again in a very beautiful coin. They had to change the style of the coin because
kill everybody,
this
get a
style
nice
of
coin
that was minted later on up in that 1630s, 1640s. Hang on just 1 second. I'm on the fire department here.
This page is for White City.
And so I'm going to get back here so we don't lose this. This is a good show. Anyway, this is what they did. They had an assayer called Antonio de Orqueta, and he did this, what we call the Pillars and Waves design. So very beautiful Plusultra plus ultra, which means in Latin more beyond the Pillars of Hercules. This is the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. These are the Pillars of Hercules right here. This is a date right here. It is a 5-9, and this coin also has a second date on it, 1659 right here. Oh wait, and there is a third date right here, a 659. And so that way you definitely always knew who was, or when these coins were struck. Here is E, the assayer's initial, for Antonio de Urqueta, and you have P, that is over here for Potosi, and the denomination actually fell off the top of the planchet up here. But you can see the 8 denomination there, and also, the size of the coin. You can see how big it is. It's the size of a silver dollar. Later on, as you get into the 1700s, they got very chunky with these pieces. So this is it normally has 3 dates, but it's only visible. 2 of them are only visible. 8 is the denomination. Here's your pillars again, and then your plus ultra, and you see a 767, 1767, and here at the bottom of the cross, 767 again. Beautiful chunky piece. And so that is a Potosi mint here.
Nice, real nice. These are just so interesting, and I mean, I could sit here all night and look at these coins and everything, and it's just super interesting. And we're going to get Frank back in here and get those. I'll tell you what.
Can you hear me, Steve?
Yeah, we got you. You know what?
Before you get started here real quick, because we've had it come up a couple of times in the questions, and it was really good, and for some reason I got distracted by the tones.
Fire call.
There. That was one of our neighboring departments. So luckily I didn't have to go. But anyway, what's really fascinating, and we'll go into it in another point, the waves go up on the Potosi mint because Potosi's up in the mountains. The waves right under the date go down on the Lima because Lima is down on the ocean.
I saw that in the chat. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's about a 2.5 month trip over land through the mountains to get from Lima up to Potosi. And I think it was about 2,000 miles or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of mules, a lot of
mules.
I do want to say that I've been watching the chat, and I'm going to go back and read this crap, okay? Because somebody wanted me to know that you said Moors and not s'mores. Somebody just posted in there to mute me because I talk over the video like his kids do while they watch movies. So I'm going to, there's going to be retribution in this. There really is. This is just such an interesting topic.
What I need to see, because I've seen this several times here, don't find many of those in Plano, Texas. Yes, you would be at our store in Cannon Beach. I lost count of the amount of people that I talked to that found coins, Spanish coins, in where, for instance, a lady came in, looked at the Atocha pieces, like the first one that you saw there on the Potosi mint there, and she said, I found one of those as a kid in Portland, where there's a house farm there now, but it was an empty field. She found one of those there, which is early to mid 1600s style. We had another guy come in from Ilwaco, which is a small town just over the Washington border on the Columbia River right there. And they were digging out down about 3 feet, and he pulls up this portrait dollar. And and he said, and he was looking at our chop mark portrait dollars. And he said, this is it. And I said, I can tell you everything. He said, what is that? And I said, I can tell you everything. It was minted in Mexico City. It circulated over in the Orient, and then somehow it found its way back over here on a trade ship. And he said, that's funny because our house is built on what was an old tavern there. And I've talked to people multiple times that have found things, these Spanish coins, all throughout Texas. They find them way up into Missouri, and New York. Talking to a guy who found one. He was metal detecting on a baseball in a baseball field, and found a Spanish portrait dollar there.
So it is possible. Possible.
We live down here. We live to find old taverns. We're joking with Steve about finding 35 reals. The one spot over the course of 3 years, I pulled 35 reals off of an old tavern. It happened to be a covert headquarters for Benedict Arnold at one time. But it was a 300-year-old tavern, and we pulled, and I was just one of 3-4 guys that pulled just handfuls of reals over a couple of years out of this one particular spot. We lived to find those old taverns.
Now that Frank's a story refers to him as Benny. He called him his friend Benny.
Benny Arnold, yeah,
Benny Arnold. So I guess, guys, we're wrapping it up on 20 after 9. I know we could.
We still got one more video.
Let's roll it. I got all night, man. I want to roll this video. Let it roll.
Okay, let's do one more video.
Roll it, Frank.
I got to tell you, when you play the videos on my screen, they're frozen. That's why I go to the
I wonder why. I don't
cell phone
understand
to
why.
watch the video.
All right, let me mute them. Let me hide me.
And I'm still here, so I can comment on these videos. Whoever's making comments on the page, I'll find out.
Yeah, I'll shut my mic off once the video
remember, I
goes
picked the winner of this tonight.
You are the winner, Steve.
I already won.
I'll cut my mic.
We have something really exciting to show you here.
Gloves.
So what I am holding is 2 Bogota 2 escudos, or for those of us in the treasure fleet, we call them Bogey 2s. And this particular one was recovered from the 1715 fleet, and this particular one was found in Cadiz Bay. This particular one here in my left hand is dates sometime after 1700, more than likely, even though it has a Charles II shield on it, posthumous shield on it. And you can see the Roman numeral 2 right there. And they were doing this for the reason that when Philip V died, when Charles II died in 1700, he didn't have a male heir. And so the War of Spanish Succession began very quickly after that. And it took about 13 years for them to work out whether Philip V was going to gain the throne. And I'm going to do a little bit more detail on that at another time. But anyway,
Beautiful
what's
coins.
really fascinating about this, both of these are uncirculated coins, perfectly uncirculated, just beautiful. When you look at the edge of this particular Bogota 2 here from the 1715 fleet, you can see just exactly how sharp and crisp the edges are, how they were actually chiseling off just little pieces of gold to get it down to the proper 6.7 grams. This particular one here dates to about circa 1620, and you can see the 2 Roman numerals right there for the denomination, and then the shield. And this one dates to Philip III of Spain. These are some of the first gold doubloons to come out of Colombia. Coins like this would have been found on the Atocha, but really cool pieces. You can see how the 1715 fleet is a little bit wider than the other one is, and thinner. Let me see if we can get it. And how this beautiful piece is a little bit thicker and more chunky, but it is going to make, both of them are going to make just stunning pieces of jewelry there. 6.7 grams each on these. Just beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Nice and beautiful. They're nice and crisp and clear for being at the bottom of the ocean. They come out looking good. So we'll wait till we get. Oh, great! We got Roy and Johnny responding to a call. Gage and DeSoto on their way. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. And then the pictures are going back and forth.
That was Robert going to a fire.
Yes, it was.
That's why I was running a little late on getting some of these videos done, because we've run several.
Busy week.
It's been a busy week between Treasure Central and getting interrupted on these fires. I was just getting ready on that one to sit down after we had fought a really nasty. You ever heard of controlled burns? That's an oxymoron. They always get uncontrolled. So we had a wildland fire earlier that I lost about 3 hours on, and I was just getting ready to sit down and
he had his beverage poured.
Had my adult beverage and going to sit out on our porch that's finally been repaired after the hurricane, and the tones dropped, and April just looks up at me and says, "Bye, I'll see you." So anyway,
so
we saw a couple of quick questions here. What was the one?
How do you know they're uncirculated?
Oh, that's a good question.
They were at the bottom of the ocean for years.
Well, the detail is so crisp. See, gold doesn't corrode.
Right.
That's why you see it on used in so many different electronics things and such. And so gold does not corrode, and you can just tell.
At what carat? Because we know 10 carat tarnishes.
Yeah.
About how high the carat before we stop seeing that corrosion?
Those are 22 karat gold.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they're really beautiful.
So
they're gorgeous.
So they put just enough copper in them to toughen them up. So it's only 2 carats short of pure gold. And then a doubloon, a proper weight of a doubloon is basically 6.7 grams.
That's beautiful. They're just gorgeous. Oh my God, they're beautiful coins.
It's amazing. Yeah, you can't say they're anything short of beauty and the historical factor, the fact that they're a couple, 100 years old and just sweet looking. 1600. What's that? 1,000 years old.
So
you count well.
Couple thousand years old.
So
1,600,000 years old.
Couple million years old. Just
400,000
years. Yeah, and
it just giving away a coin here pretty quick, I guess.
Yes.
And so on. And also, what we wanted to do is give all of your viewers a code.
So let me ask you a question before you give the code, Robert.
Sure.
Do you want us to post this or video only?
For what?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make that decision for you. Never mind.
Yeah.
We're going to leave the code on the video. If they want the code, they got to come. They got to watch.
You watch the video. Yeah.
Yeah. They. Sure. So what this is, the code is DA gift. Okay, so it's Detect America DA gift, all one word,
and that should be pretty well.
And that'll get you.
It'll be live about 5 minutes after the show.
After the show, we've got to do that. But what that is for a purchase of $175 or more from our website, cannonbeachtreasure.com, we're going to throw in a fun stocking stuffer piece of historic artifact.
Beautiful.
Okay. Beautiful. Let's get back to Cannon Beach Treasures. And I want you to post on the page after the show. I want you to post your site. Guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys can post anytime. So
listen, Christmas. Oh, yeah. No. I mean, but for the folks that watch this show, Christmas is just around the corner. You do what I do because my wife can't buy me anything. Buy yourself.
If you want to know what I want for Christmas from Cannon Beach, just contact me. I'll let you know right off the bat.
Listen, buy yourself a nice gift from Cannon Beach because only you can pick it out unless your wife or husband can. But you can't go wrong buying. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, they're just simply. It's shipwreck treasure you're getting. It's I don't know. For me, it's got a whole different feel. Who knows where the hell this thing was? This thing came from the ground in Peru and wound up in the ocean off of the coast of Florida, and people gave their lives for these treasures. And at Cannon Beach Treasures, you can go in and shop, and this is their business. They besides Riel.
It's not just Natosius. It's not just 1750. It's not just
Right.
shipwreck. Some of this stuff is ancient and it's amazing to look at, guys.
Right.
I mean,
There's
it truly is.
Years old.
Yeah,
There's
we have,
coins of all types. There's Romans. There's Greco-Romans, Asian Romans.
He's got artifacts. It's just such a great site to go to and
So
check out.
please support our friends to come on the show. Support our sponsor, Ron DeGhetto at the Gold Digger Metal Detectors. I mean, these folks are coming onto our show and giving away a gift that's worth a lot of money, upwards to $400. I don't know what other shows you go out and watch and find these types of things. And we get gracious people that are going to come on here, give us their time and talk history. And like me, like I said, I'm not Josh Gates. All right, it's just me.
You got that right.
And I can't thank you enough for coming on. And please, we love having you on our page. We know you're going to be back on our show again. You guys are just great guests to have. And
Absolutely,
I
guys.
think
We love having you here.
Ronnie, would you like to reach out and thank them? Would you like to?
Oh, absolutely. The show was very.
Ronnie's got a voice.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, even now when you're talking, you're breaking up. I can hear everybody else, but I can't hear you. And now before,
I think your box needs to be cleaned over there. Maybe your headphones, something.
I don't know. It's only you, though, Frank. Everybody else is working. But anyway, when the video was playing, it wasn't playing on my. I had to go to my phone to watch the video.
Right.
It was just, I'm having some technical problems here, I guess. So I didn't want to come in here because if I start talking and stuff. But anyway, let's get back to the story. I want to thank you two folks for coming. You really appreciate
very
it.
much. We love chatting with you guys.
And it's, you're a wealth of information. Our viewers learned a lot, and I can tell you I learned a lot today. So, we truly appreciate the time and effort, and especially the donation of the gift. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
And in between them breaking my stones with all this chat, a lot of people seem to have had a lot of were impressed by this show, and I was watching Eddie Kropsky give a lot of information on the Reals. He's a wealth of information on that. So, but guys, I can't thank you enough. And if you'd like to stay for the giveaway, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we like that.
we'll do the drum roll.
Okay.
It'll be a long drum roll. Usually takes Steve about an hour and a half to give away a coin.
Oh, and this is going to take a while, okay? Because you don't listen. I'm just not going. Hey, there's a winner, okay? No. When I do this, you gotta pay attention. First off, Kevin Morton, our friend out there in Nevada, Carson City, Nevada. Great guy, is donating for tonight's giveaway, and I'm going to use this. He's donating a Standing Liberty quarter, a silver quarter. Beautiful. He sent me a picture. I can't find it right offhand, but that's going to be the first one we give away. And let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to pick a couple names.
I didn't register myself.
Well, listen, you know what?
Register me under an anonymous store.
Exactly.
I did put Frank's name in here because you know what?
We never
ever go into these contests, but this is such one that like right up Frank and mine's alley that I'm doing the contest to give away myself. So I entered him, and if I pull his name,
and I would promptly donate it back to the viewers.
Well, then you're a fool, because if I had won, I was keeping it.
I told him not to put my name in. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, so Kevin Morton has given us a 1930 San Francisco Standing Liberty silver quarter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 names, okay? And then I'll pick one of the 5. How do you like that? And when I do this the other giveaway.
Listen,
you're sick.
Robert Edroy, he's gotten so much better because it would be like 12 sets of 10 and then he would narrow it down to 6 sets of 10.
Get out the Ouija board.
Yeah,
Now.
we tell you to tune back in tomorrow, but he'd be whittling it down to winner.
Now,
We've
as
watched
for the
too
rules,
many episodes of Chopped.
as for the rules, okay, as for the rules, here's the situation. If your name is called, you have 1 minute to respond because you have to be watching the show and you're going to get 1 minute. We've had a lot of things go on with our giveaways where they call everybody and say, "Hey, your name was just picked," and like 20 minutes later, people come on and go, "Oh, I was here." Now, and remember, I make the rules. Okay, so whatever rule I make stands, and I could make a rule right now listen. You know what? I get so many people beating me up over this. I got to draw the line. I got to put the hammer down. And so, if there's any kind of problem,
Some of them metal detector people, boy.
I decide any discrepancy. So if you have a complaint, I decide the complaints. You got it, bottom line. But I tell you what, I see one name in here that wishes this was for. You know what? All right, so these are the 5 names coming in for the silver coin. And guess what? I know he wishes he was in for the real because one of them was Eddie Kropsky. So we got Mark Wattrouse. He's an avid viewer. Caroline Liley. I know I saw her in the chat. Ed Kropsky is coming in. Sean Himmelberger. Wow. And Al Chip Koreka. So we got those 5. What are you laughing at? Oh. All right, so I'm going to pick the winner of this one is Jesus God. Al Chip Koreka. Al Chip Koreka. You are the winner.
Al Shipwrecka?
No, Chip Koreka. You got to answer. I got to see Al. You got 1 minute starting now.
I got the clock going.
Oh, you do? All right, so Al Chip Koreka, you got 1 minute. If you don't answer within 1 minute, we will draw another name in there. And we'll throw another name in there, and that'll be the 5 that I'm pulling out of. So Al Chip Koreka, are you watching the chat, Frank?
No.
All right, so is anybody watching?
I'm watching.
Huh? All right, yeah, I'm going to try and watch too. I got
my chat doesn't have names, so I can't watch it.
All right, well, that's the other thing. Once the minute's up and your name is disqualified, you are disqualified. You're done. There's no, I was here. No, there's no arguments that you were here. You were not here.
I think somebody was saying.
Eddie, don't worry, Ed. Eddie wants to make sure he's in for the winning. Yeah, you'll go back in, Ed. Ed, you'll go back in. Don't worry. All these names are going to go back in.
1 minute.
That's a minute?
Yep.
All right, so that was 1 minute. Al Chip Koreka, you missed out on a silver walking Liberty? Standing Liberty.
Standing Liberty.
And
you got a walking Liberty quarter. That's worth a lot of money.
Another one of my buddies going in the hat is Daniel Jurgens. So Daniel Jurgens, your name is going in. You're not a winner, but you're going to be one of the 5. Okay, to win the silver coin by Kevin Morton. The winner will the winner will contact Kevin Morton and Ed Kropsky. You are the winner. The name was drawn. Kropsky pulled out a quarter, but I bet he'd love to trade for that. You know what? This guy would love to trade for a real, but
hey,
Eddie,
if we can trade for a real, because I got a whole bunch of them silver quarters here, I'll happily trade.
And I know Eddie's in here because I see his name on the chat, so there's no need to run the minute. But yeah, Eddie, he's got enough coins of his own. That guy taught me how to metal detect, man. Come on.
Somebody just asked what size my my pendant was. This is an 8 real, so this is a and I wear it. I think it's on a 26 or 28 inch chain.
26 inch chain.
And so this is the size of a silver dollar.
And this
we affectionately, as treasure hunters call them, Key West dog tags.
And this one's this one's a 2. This is the one that's in the giveaway, not this particular coin, but this size.
The model number. All right,
Steve, mine's a 2, Steve, that I found.
You know what?
There's 2. Yep.
I'm about to give you
my 2 reals. These 2 reals were part of stuff I dug over the years. Everyone is engraved with my wedding date and names, and it was my groomsman's gift.
I'm about to give you the universal signal for one. All right, so Miss April, since you seem to be the nicest person here and haven't said anything bad about me yet.
Yet.
Well, how many would you like me to pull out? 10, 15, 20? What do you got? Pick a number.
Let's pull out 8 because it's my lucky number.
8?
There
Okay,
you
who
go.
wants to go with 8? All right.
Yeah,
so
you want to go with 50. I'd go with 8 too. Yeah, 8's good.
I'm going to go with 8 here. I want everybody to see me pick, okay? They're going to pick. So the first person is not Ed Krotsky. Art Vandelay. No, the first person. Do you know who Art Vandelay is, April?
No.
Oh boy, sorry. It's a joke. It's a character off of Seinfeld.
Well, I should know, but I was living in England, and ever since they killed off that character with the envelope, everybody got all upset.
This is one of the greatest guys. Richard Kruckmeyer is in the drawing. Listen, anybody that deserves it as much as him, it's him. Our guy, Richard Kruckmeyer, is the best. So that was number 1 going in the hat. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep this up. Hold up. Michael Scott. Michael Scott. Now, if you guys are here and want to start spamming the chat to let me know you guys are here.
Michael Scott or Mick Scott?
No, Michael. I wrote them down the way they came in, too. Jesus. Digging with Dale. I got to see, you got to come in on that. Oh, my God. I got to do this fast because you know what? Oh, well, that's all right. Yeah, Matt Lomas, you're in there. That's 4. I do want to do this fast. I don't want people calling each other. Matt Lomas. I'm just going to pick them. Let's see. Matt Lomas. Brian Kleban is 5. Most of these people are already here. 6 is Celeste Rolls. We love our Celeste Rolls. She's awesome. I'm glad her name's in there. Candy Irvine. I haven't seen her in there, but Candy Irvine, she's a friend of mine. And what are we on the last one? 2, 4, 6, 7. Last one is Kevin Hill. All right, so I'm going to draw a name, and you got to be here, or I'm going to throw other names in there. I'm just going to throw names in there, okay? So there's 8 tickets in here, and the winner is, what do you got here? Brian Kleban. You got 1 minute. You did the timer, Frank?
Yep.
Brian Kleban. I know he's an avid viewer. We've seen him on the page a lot. You guys wanted to pre-register. You wanted your pre-registrations, telling me you'd be watching the show for this giveaway, and of course, they don't show up. So, Brian Kleban, you have 1 minute. 1 minute, Brian Kleban. I can't do that. Sorry. I can't do the Jeopardy theme anymore. Poor Alex. Rest in peace. I'm heartbroken that Alex passed away. I can't do that. So we get to a minute. I'm going to pick another name.
He's here. Or
is he?
There's somebody here.
Yes, he is here. Brian Kleban. I saw his name. Congratulations, Brian. You can have that mailed to me.
Yay.
You can have that mailed to me.
Why send it right to me. I'll trade it for those quarters you wanted, Brian.
Go ahead and get his information, and we will, and then, or he can contact us. Just give him our email, and we'll mail it directly to him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not just going to forget about it. Oh, I can't get a hold of him. Never mind.
Just send that over to Frank. What a nice guy he wrote. I can't believe he's so nice.
Listen, honestly, I would love to hug both of you. You guys are the best. This show, and we got a plan for another show with you guys because
absolutely, guys. You guys bring in the viewers, and they love you guys when you guys are on.
The topic.
We'll do some more fun videos of that, where I'll go into some more detail and answer those questions that you were asking, Steve. Like I said, it's just been crazy here. So I ran out of time.
I wanted to ask you though, these videos and other tutorial videos can be found on your webpage as well, right?
That or our YouTube page
channel.
is Cannon Beach Treasure
on YouTube.
on YouTube.
Oh, good. You know, I gotta watch. I sit here sometimes during the day and work on a computer, and I'll pop YouTubes on. So I got you guys, dude. I gotta tell you
sit here
something.
every day and I build ugly boxes. I haven't seen the outside world in months.
Frank has got total dementia. I call him. You think your brain's fried? This guy's fried. What do you mean? Don't mail it to Steve? Mail it to me. But I got to tell you something. You guys better watch the hell out. You know what, Frank? I guess you know what. We're coming to Florida in February. You're lucky. You're further away. In February, we're going to be coming to Gainesville.
Okay.
Oh, we're not far from there. We're only.
What'd you say?
We're only 3 hours.
3 hours.
What? Frank.
We got the best oysters here.
Yeah.
See, now you're talking my language.
Ew, I don't want oysters.
I would eat oysters all day long. Oh, yeah.
But the problem is, now, see, we're planning this big road trip in February, the 19th through 21st. There's a dig in. I'll tell you what, if you guys decide, you should look into Florida Hunt 7 because our member, Greg Papalo, Greg, if you're out there, let's get Mr. Connect the information. They're having vendors. So if
they set up shop and we set up the ugly box and do demos, and guys set up their wares, and it's a really good time.
So what this is, it's a 2-day hunt in Melrose, Florida, I think it is, right outside Gainesville.
Yep.
And it's on a big horse farm. It's called Camp Freedom. Camp Freedom is a place for any vet to go there for the weekend. They're doing it for our vets. But Greg and the metal detect. If you want to come metal detect, we're all going to be metal detecting for 2 days. If you want to set up a vent, man, I'll tell you what. You want to come and set up a vendor thing, and if you're going to do it, let me know because I'll fill my pockets. I'll steal Ronnie. I've been known to steal Ronnie's credit card and buy a lot of stuff. So, and I would love that if you could. We're going to have. We're pounding this thing with Detect America members. And if you could, and we're going to get you that information. And if you decide to come, you two, just for 1 day or 2 days, dude, I would love to see you guys, meet you guys. And you'll get to meet. We're trying to get Tom Davis there. The problem is he's in some other country. I don't know, some third world country above us or something. And we're trying to.
Their time's all metric. We can't figure it out.
And I'll tell you what, I know he'd love to meet you. He'd love to meet. He'll probably swim across that big river to get here if he has to. So, and yes, Thursday is Thanksgiving, everyone. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a nice holiday. Under the circumstances of 2020, spend it with your family.
Absolutely. Yep.
I want everyone to have a good day. But seriously, Mr. Connect, Robert, April, please look into Florida Hunt 7. There's a Facebook page that someone's going to wind up adding you to.
Yeah, we'll definitely send you the info for sure.
Yes, and I would love to have you guys either. Oh man, and I know everyone on this page. There's going to be a lot of people on this page that would love to see you there, and if not, we might just drive to your place from Gainesville. But you're better off coming to us.
Got room to put you up, so
yeah. But see, I never leave. I don't leave. The problem is I won't leave.
Three of us will come. Two of us will leave. So.
We'll force you to eat oysters. Then that'll.
Nah, forget it. I'll leave. I'll run. I'm out of here. But it would be great. It would be great if you came.
We'll serve you rum out of an old British East India Company shipwreck bottle.
Oh,
200 years old.
You can serve it to me out of a shoe. I don't care. I'll try.
Yeah, Frank will drink that. I'll eat all the other good stuff.
That's
so,
pirate.
Is there anything you want to close with, Robert?
No, just remember, I saw some folks on here for the for our code. It's DA gift, and it's one word.
All one word.
Just DA gift. Give us about 5 minutes after the show closes, and we'll set it up. $175 purchase and above, and we'll send a really fun historic stocking stuffer.
What do they get if they type Steve Stinks?
20%.
No terror.
I can't win. I just get beat up on this show. I'm a punching bag.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Don't worry. You guys are going to be back soon. And if they, you know what, if they're going to come to Florida Hunt 7, we'll get them on the show just before
sure.
that. Just before that, because you know what, he has the opportunity that if a DA member wants to, I keep bouncing around, Frank. If any DA member wants to buy something, you know, look, we're pushing 9:47. I guess we'll finish this up on Thursday. I know. I knew it was going to go long, but everybody hung in, and I don't think they cared. Unless you guys want to talk about
let me just tell you, there was a lot of people tuned in tonight.
Oh, I know. If you guys want to extend the show and talk about my medical procedures, we can.
Hey, listen, all I know is that starting Wednesday, I got 3 to 4 weeks of shots in my knees, and I'm going to be a new man.
So don't forget, we're going to do. We're not doing a show Thursday. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, new show Thursday.
Well, listen, I'm going to keep this container full of names and probably add to it for next week's drawing. Next Monday, listen, guys, you better get on the ball.
That's a good idea. Add to it.
You better get on the ball. If you've already entered, there's no need to enter again, but I'm going to change the entry to include for next Thursday. Okay, you want to win, you're going to get on there. We do nothing. Listen, before we go, I just want to let you know, we give away some of the best gifts. I mean, how many detectors do we give away? We give away more detectors than anyone. I got to say this, brand new in the box detectors. And all we want is for you to be here. We just want you to be a productive member of our group and be friendly to every other member out there. And that's just all we want. We
Christmas is around the corner. Golddigger.com.
Mm-hmm. And when I watch this chat,
golddigger.com, because golddigger.com takes
you don't want to get golddigger.com. You want
golddigger.com.
Then you find my picture on that page.
I made that mistake a couple of times, and it took me an hour or two to leave that site. But anyway,
yeah. So listen, guys, just be a part of our group. Support our sponsors, support the people that come on here and take their time out for us. And I'm telling you, as I sit here and read through the chat, I can see the friendly jokes. Nobody says anything bad about anybody. It's everyone's getting along on our page, and that makes it a perfect home. That makes it just a perfect home. So we're always, there's Steve Sirocco. You can win a sticker, buddy. That poor guy. He's awesome. So, Ronnie, thanks for being here, buddy. I know you didn't get much input tonight. It was just such an interesting topic
Absolutely.
And I was coming up with some really good questions that I thought were not so bad to.
Once again, I was having technical difficulties because even now I can't hear Frank. He's breaking up when he talks. But anyway, I would like to thank everybody for letting us into your homes once again. And I want everybody to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your family. Have a great time. We'll see you again next Monday.
And I'm sure you have hours. I guess will you be in the shop on Wednesday?
Yeah, I will be Wednesday. Thursday, I will not.
Thursday. How about Friday?
I'll probably be back Friday. Sure. It's what else am I going to do?
Well, yeah. Do you have any special sales coming on Friday? I'm just gonna go with Gold Digger Friday. We'll call it.
Yeah. I mean, just give us a call. We'll work something out depending on what you want or what you need. We'll do our best. We already got our. I don't want to say. Well, it's not too early, but we put the Christmas specials up.
Right.
You'll see some of the packages.
Well, we're and the book is
close. The book is close. Frank's been proofreading.
The last couple pages will be out. So I'll send them to you tomorrow morning.
This is off the hook. There really is a book.
There is a book
from a crook.
And it looks like this book should be ready to go by, I'm hoping, December 1st.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that a lot of people, think of it as a Christmas gift. It's right in that ballpark range for your Pollyanna.
Yep. Great stocking.
It's going to be a good record, guys. I get a lot of questions about the Ugly Box and electrolysis every single day. A lot of those questions will be answered in the book.
I get a lot of complaints. Listen, while we got a lot of people here, if we still have them, I just want to throw this out there. Guys, I landed an awesome guest tonight. Did I tell you, Ron? I told you, Ron.
You told me, yes, you did.
Yeah. I landed one of the top coin graders in the country. We're going to do a show about talking coins, numismatic coins, and metal detecting Doug coins. We're going to throw a lot of topics out there. I've talked to this guy today, and he is a very interesting man, very down to earth. The first thing I said to him was, I said, I thought maybe you were one of these stuffed shirt guys, coin graders that, don't find humor in anything. Dude, by the end of the conversation, we're laughing, joking, having a ball.
And he truly is. He truly is one of the top coin graders in the country.
He is. So we're going to have that on the show. And guys, listen, have a nice holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll probably be on a diet Thursday, and I won't eat very much.
I got 12 feet. If I'm lucky, I got 25 more Thanksgivings in me. I'm not giving them up for one. Be safe this holiday season. Be with your family. Don't take any stupid chances. And, be here for next Thanksgiving.
Enjoy it, but let's use common sense and
Be safe. Be safe.
Good night, guys. Let's send Ronnie out of here and then get me out of here. And
good night, everybody.
Good night, buddy. So we already just determined that tomorrow's a wash because it's probably going to rain.
Yeah. So I'll be in here slaving away on ugly boxes tomorrow.
I need to find property to detect on. We got to get another permission.
I know. I still want to go back to that house. I'm telling you, there's still stuff.
Listen, we can go back to that house, and if tomorrow works out, we decide we want to go there. We can go back tomorrow. But I'm fried with that place, man. I've been over it and over it and over it.
I know.
Can you throw one in the hole for me?
I just look at the house. I look at its history, and I just know that there's more there.
I know. I'd love to crawl through that house.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. But I didn't get out over the weekend, so I'm really itching, man. So listen, buddy, I want you to have a happy Thanksgiving, you and Sheila, and enjoy. And we'll be back Monday with a big giveaway show.
Absolutely.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah. All right, that's it, guys. Remember, there's no show Thursday night because it is Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your family. And Monday night, next Monday night, we've got a detector giveaway. And Steve's going to post the continuation of the sign-in sheet. We'll use what we have now, and we'll continue that sign-in sheet. Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. And